have a lot of friends who are very open. I mean, 2 guys a night, 1 guy. I mean, I live vicariously, but they're hurt.
Listen, she said it. We didn't. And she's a recovering slut. But we're taking the power back of the word, right? She's been promiscuous. Her friends have been calling her out, like, you need to close them legs. So she had a date this weekend, and that was her goal, right? So, Mo, a little bit of recap because I wasn't here on Friday and didn't get all the deets.
I got you. So, like you said, she was living her best life on the dating scene for quite a while. She was very honest in that there have been a lot of quick relationships, one-night stands, flings, and things of that nature. And she just never seemed to be with a guy to where it was a lasting relationship. So her friends were giving her advice saying maybe you need to switch up exactly how you're dating and work on building a connection first before you jump into bed with a guy. And maybe you'll find the guy that you're looking for. So she's trying to be a little less impulsive and a little more intentional as she calls herself a recovering slut. Like you said, her words, not ours.
I really want to specify. She called herself that,
yes.
Right?
All right. So she reached out to us for some help. She had a big date this weekend. She thinks the guy is, also her words, a total hottie. And she wants to take him seriously, but she don't want to give him too much to have him running away. So she's trying to take things a little slower and maybe keep things classy so she can actually build something real for once. And she was wondering just how can she do that?
All right. Before we get her update on how the weekend went, and fingers crossed she was able to accomplish her mission, along with other things crossed.
I was crossing my fingers, hopefully not. Yeah.
I got all my things crossed. I am curious, though. 1-855-BERT Show, 855-23... whatever the rest of the number is.
2346?
I don't know. Y'all, I really need to get my meds filled today. It's bad. We're 48 hours deep without them. Long story. Anyway, my question is, who listening wishes they would have slept with more people? Because I have a friend and she's like, yeah, I really wish I would have hoochied it up more before I got married, and that she would have experienced more people. Cassie, you're raising your hand?
Yep, I'm one of them. Mm-hmm. There is one guy who got away, and I regret it, not to this day, but up until I got married, because he was a smoke show, and I had a huge crush on him, and I flirty, we hooked up, but not hooked up, and I turned him down because I'm like, I'm demure. And then I found out he was a player and just went on to the next girl, which is fine, but I still wish I had hit it.
Right? So I'm wondering, for the ladies, 1-855-BERT Show, if you wish you would have played the field a little bit more and been a little more expressive with yourself before getting married, or before settling down.
As a woman, do y'all care what your husband feels like just a little bit about this or not? Y'all don't even consider him at all?
Oh, you mean in this conversation? Yeah, no.
Okay. So I gotta ask him if it's okay that I wanted to sleep with more people.
I'm not saying you ask for permission. See, that's adding a lot. I'm just wondering if it ever occurs to y'all a little bit that maybe I should have gone less for him since I did marry him. Just ask.
Oh, less for him? No, absolutely not. Because I don't feel like that has any bearing on the strength of the relationship. Again, I'm admitting TMI. Bart's the best I've ever had. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, Bart, get it.
He can, and he does. So that's not. But I was, no joke. We were, my friend and I'm not going to disclose who because I'm not going to call her out. But we were there getting pedicures, and for some reason this came up while we were getting our toes did, and she had a very small number that she had been with prior to getting married, and she was just like, yeah, I wish I would have hoed it up a little bit more. Just wish I would have just not been so. And prudish isn't the right word. But she just kind of felt like she held herself back. And listen, to each their own. Mm-hmm. There are some women that want to save themselves for marriage or want to keep that number low before they find the one for whatever reason that is. That's great. But for her, she's like, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have taken it so seriously and just would have allowed myself to have a little more fun. And I think that's what I'm going for here.
Yeah, I was going to say, to your point, Mo, I do think there are couples where that is important, especially with religion. Mm-hmm. But for me, that's not important. I'm not a product, and I'm not going to be devalued by the number of men I've slept with. I'm still the same person. Actually, I'd probably be a different person if I had slept with less people, because that changes you. I do think that each time you have an intimate encounter, whether or not it's casual or a romance, it changes you. And so that made me who I am today. Now, I think if I were married and right now I'd be like, I want to sleep with more men right now, that would be very disrespectful to my husband. But for my relationship, it's not like that, but I totally understand that for some relationships, especially religious ones, it is.
But Mo, I respect where you're coming from. Yeah. Would that hit?
I'm just curious.
Would that hurt if your lady was like, yeah, no, I wish I would have slept with more dudes before I settled down?
I don't think it would hurt. Yeah. But I'd consider that she said that.
I'm going to tuck that away for later.
All right, Ashley, welcome to the Bert Show. We're just being honest here. Are you happy with your number, or do you wish you would have been a little more adventurous?
I'm kind of in the same boat as Cassie. There is one particular person, my sister's ex-husband. Him and I dated, and then she dated him, and he, in the end, chose her. And she's a real prude. I just kind of wish I had done that. They're divorced now. It's not like they're soulmates, and I deeply regret that one.
Girl, there's a lot to unpack here, and I love so much that you called. So you're the one that got away, the bedroom edition, is your sister's ex-husband.
Right. So he was my high school sweetheart.
So your sister dated your high school sweetheart after you?
Yeah, I've been in therapy for like 5 years.
Okay.
All right.
That tracks.
Well, hey, good for you for acknowledging that and getting the help that you need.
You're hotter than your sister.
And I'm really glad they're divorced now.
Yep.
Saw that one coming.
Karma. Right? All right, Mary, thank you so much for joining and putting yourself out there. And you wish you would have put yourself out there more, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I wish I would have had more experiences before settling down. And there's actually regrets, too, that I did not decide to have intimacy or sex with someone, and I regret it later.
Why do you think you held yourself back? Like, if we're looking back and getting to, like, the crux of it.
I think it was just being scared, and, too, like, it was like a friendship relationship that may had gone somewhere but didn't, and I was just afraid of ruining that. But then also I just wish I experienced, especially if you have a partner later on that has more experience and you don't, and you're like, man, I should have had more fun, you know what I mean? So I just think it's important. Like, I don't mean like go out there and be a hoe bag, but I mean but experiences are good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
So
save that,
because I think the value is so much different now with teenagers these days. They just do it with anybody, and and that's not good when you're an adult. But I think you should have experiences for sure before settling down.
Thank you, Mary. Y'all, the phone lines are lit up with women who wish they would have done more. Destiny.
Interesting.
Thank you so much for calling. Ma'am. So you wish you would have been a little more, I don't even know if experimental is the right word, but you wish you would have played around more.
Most definitely. Definitely.
She's got someone in mind.
She said that with her chest.
Who have you been thinking about?
Is there one person in particular, or do you just mean like in general? You wish you wouldn't have held yourself back?
Oh, 100%. There's like one person that got away from me, and now I'm kind of like, well, but I'm married. And I love my husband. Do not get me wrong. I love
nice of you to throw that in there.
Yeah, I feel like we should point out, Mo, none of us are going to sit down with our husbands and tell them, like, I wish I slept with more dudes. This is like girl talk.
Yeah.
See, I'm getting a first-hand insight inside of it. All right.
Yeah, and this, obviously, we definitely wouldn't go to our husbands and be like, yeah, I wish I would have slept around more. And there's this one guy that I really would have wished.
Secrets in marriage. Wonderful.
Hey, Meg, and she wants to be on The Voice Disguiser. This is our first one, though, Mo. Everybody else has just been like, hey.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, so Meg, you wish you would have had more partners.
Yes. My family was very religious growing up, so that was waiting until marriage was very important. It was pushed on me, basically. And I don't know, I wish I would have been talked to about sex differently, because I did wait until marriage, and I'm very happily married, but there is a part of me that wish I would have explored and had more fun and it not have been such a scary thing for me growing up.
I can appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, for the fair of balances, right? I got somebody who says no, I don't.
Oh, thank God.
If it makes you feel better, my mom's texting me. She's like, nah, I'm good with your dad.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, queen.
I freaking hope so.
Could you imagine if your mom texted you and said, I wish I had hoed it up more before I met your dad?
I'm sure some of these callers are mothers. Hello.
All right, so we're gonna take Amalia, I believe, on line 2. So Amalia, you said no. You're very happy with your number going into the person you settled down with.
Okay, so hi, love you guys.
Love you.
I'm not settled down yet, but I definitely had my fair share, and I'm at that point now where I've had my fair share that now I'm ready to settle down.
Gotcha.
And find a partner.
Okay.
And,
Rub it in a little more, Amalia, to the women on the line. Wish they got more.
It's the one no that's like, yeah, I slept with enough dudes. I'm ready now.
Yeah.
Where's that marriage thing that we were talking about?
Okay. All right. So, Mo.
Casual dating, you get tired of casual dating, and at
Gotcha.
least me personally, it's just one of those things where you just had enough. You're ready to find the one, and just you've had your fun, you've experienced it all, so you get bored.
I feel that, girly.
Okay. All right. So, Mo, I think I found what you're looking for.
Okay, yes.
I don't think that really fit the bill, but good for her for recognizing she's dabbled enough and she's ready to settle down. All right. So, Brittany, are you content with your number?
Absolutely. And my number is a solid number 7. And
Okay.
I'm 36 years old. I believe that whenever you get intimate, whether it's casual, and I've had like 2 or 3 casuals, like one night, I guess you would call them, and it was terrible. And the next day, I'm like cringing to myself because it was terrible. And whenever women open themselves literally, it's like I feel like you're giving and the other person's taking, and you carry that. Like swapping souls, that's the real thing. You
Come on
carry
now.
that.
Swapping
And
souls.
it's like I have a lot of friends who are very open. I mean, 2 guys a night, 1 guy. I mean, I live vicariously, but they're hurt. They're going through therapy. They have, issues emotionally where they say they're strong and they're out here living their best life. But as a friend, I see and hear the hurt and the emotional issues that this has caused. It looks like they're having a great time and they're just, being treated to dinner and then having a good night. But that's lasting so much more. Like it's deeper than that. I disagree. I'm cool with my lucky number 7, and I wouldn't change it at all.
Thank you so much for calling.
I think this is just the perfect example of the grass is always greener. I think if you've had 17 years of the same person, of course the thought of, it would have been nice to have a little bit more spontaneity is going to sound really great. Whereas if you notice, everyone that's called in and said, I don't wish for that, we're in that phase of where you have that opportunity to sleep with as many people as possible. And I don't think it's as enticing for everybody as it can sound in theory.
Yeah, so that's the first time I've heard about swapping souls. But Mo, it sounded like you were very familiar with this.
Yeah, that's how sex was presented to me. And I was older at the time that it finally was presented to me like that. And I wished I was younger. Because, I mean, as a guy, when you are raised, typically you hear like, sleep with as many women as you can before you get married. But when it took somebody to really sit me down and like, do you understand that when you are intimate with someone, especially as a woman, because they're literally inside of you, like, yeah, this is a moment of your life that you will carry with you forever. And whomever they have been with is now with you, because sex is it's important. It means something. And it is intentionally swapping souls with another individual. And it's just, I think we've gotten to a point in life where a lot of people just don't look at it that way. It's just an act. It's now, it's over, and I moved on. But no, sometimes it can have a lasting effect on people that we don't really talk about.
All right, last one. We had a man on the line. Cody is here.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to like what Cody has to say,
I highly
though.
doubt it.
No. Cody, what you got, my dude?
Good morning,
Weigh in.
Yeah, just wanted to have some input.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that my wife had a high number of partners. I had a somewhat high number, not as high as her, but she's hotter than me. So, but I think that not entering a relationship with regrets can leave room for error and doubt. And to me, that takes up room for that happiness could inhabit, in your soul and in your heart. So, to me, I look at it as a badge of honor. I made it through the gauntlet and came out on the end. I don't know that I was the best she had, but I'm at least top 5.
That's top 5, and your wife's like,
Best 5 out of 1,000.
More power to you, King, to each their own.
All right, we didn't even get to the email update because that took a turn, and I'm not mad that it did. So when we come back, did she sleep with that dude or not? Listen, we got sidetracked a little bit ago when we started talking about how women wish they would have slept with more people.
There's a lot of sleuths in the world, apparently. Wannabe sleuths.
Wannabe. So we need to get that update from our Bert Show listener. So really quick, she has slept around quite a bit, and it hasn't led to a long-term relationship. She enjoys her lifestyle. She's not mad at it, but her friends are like, hey, if you really want to settle down with somebody, maybe don't sleep with them on the first date. She had a first date this past weekend, and she really had a goal. And that goal was to not sleep with him. So now we got to find out, if she did achieve her goal?
I really tried to be good this time.
Oh my God.
I went into the date.
Close your damn legs.
I went into the date with the best intentions. I told myself to take it slow, let things build, and actually get to know him before taking things to the next level.
Time out. What advice did you guys give her about staying out of the bed?
I remember I told her you got to learn how to give the trailer without giving the full movie.
Ooh.
That was a bar. I said pretty much the same thing. I'm like, bring back yearning, bring back pining, just let the anticipation build because it'll be so much better when you finally get there. But if you jump in too soon, you kind of get rid of all that anticipation.
Did nobody tell her to not shave her legs and wear period panties?
Nah, that never works.
Yeah, that didn't cross my
I said
mind.
sleep with him.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, continue.
And for a while, I was doing great. We had amazing chemistry, great conversation, and I was feeling super confident in my new mindset. But then one more drink happened. The flirting got intense. The eye contact got dangerous. And before I knew it, one thing led to another. And well, so much for self-restraint. Turns out he was super hot, but not that hot in bed. Oh, well. So now I have to ask.
Mo's just shaking his head in disappointment.
Come
Like we
on,
told
man.
you.
We told you this.
You're not even mad. You're just disappointed, aren't
A
you?
little bit.
So now I have to ask, where do I go from here? Do I just accept that this is who I am? That I'm someone who loves intimacy and struggles with waiting? I feel like society tells women we need to be more reserved, but what if I just like bedroom activities? Am I setting myself up for failure in the dating world by being so quick to jump in? And guys, I need your honest opinion. Is this a big turnoff? When a woman doesn't hold back physically, do you automatically put her in the, quote, not serious category? Or am I overthinking this? I still want to change my ways, but at the same time, I don't want to fight who I am if it's not actually a deal breaker. Help me out here before I drive myself crazy.
I think you just accept who you are, and it's okay.
It's nothing wrong with who she is at all. But if what she wants doesn't seem to line up with who she is, which is the problem.
The alignment's off.
Right. Because there's plenty of guys that wouldn't care, honestly, about like what you're doing or what you're not doing. There's plenty of couples who, did whatever they did on the first date and they went on to be happily married and successful. It all is relative to the man that you are looking for. It just sounds to me like the guy that she is looking to settle down with may not necessarily be the guy that wants to do this on the first date.
You can't say or do the wrong thing to the right person. And so I think just stay in the energy that feels right for you. And if being sexually confident and forward feels right to you, then go for it. But if it's starting to feel icky and like it's taking a toll on you, then maybe you got to look at your self-control and maybe get on some Lexapro, because I heard that dampens things down. I heard that a good beta blocker will block some other things.
Can confirm.
The Bert Show.